What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is episode 113, and today we're going to talk about the immense wealth creation by NVDA. All right. So as you guys know, NVIDIA's stock has been soaring like crazy. Just good news after good news, beats on earnings, which just sent the stock through the $1,000 range. I told you guys in the last video I did about NVIDIA that if it broke 150, it's just going to start hitting different levels. Now, key psychological levels on the stocks are, from what I am seeing right now, about to be hit. And there's actually three of those levels. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that today. But first, let's go ahead and just take a look at this article here by Benzinga. And it says here, hedge fund exposure to big tech hits record high as NVIDIA's soaring stock drives the rally. All right. So NVIDIA is just shooting up crazy. And as you guys can see, these other tech stocks are following as well with gains. But if you look, NVIDIA has a 6.98% gain at the time of this article. All right. So it says here, in the wake of NVIDIA's remarkable earnings, hedge funds' exposure to top U.S. technology companies has reached an all-time high. What happened? The Magnificent Seven, which includes NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, right? So both classes, and Tesla, and then Microsoft, now represents approximately 20.7% of hedge funds' total net exposure to U.S. single stocks, as per a report by Goldman Sachs Group Prime Brokerage, reported Bloomberg on Wednesday. All right, I told you guys this before. I told you guys that these big super investors, these institutional investors, they're heavy on tech. Why wouldn't you be heavy on tech? The money is on tech. I did a video this week talking about, is dividend investing a scam? And in that video, I talked about, some of these people who are so what's the word? Enthusiastic about, overly enthusiastic to be exact, about dumping all their money into these dividend kings and high paying dividend stocks where the underlying price is not really moving. And yes, you get some chump change in the terms of dividend and you get to keep the stock, but you're losing a lot of money if you're not playing those high moving stocks like technology. As you see, these hedge funds are heavy on tech. And most of these top investors, with the exception of probably like Warren Buffett, even though I believe he does own Apple, right? A lot of these super investors, they're all heavy on tech. Why wouldn't you be? That's where the money is at. All right. So when we go ahead and we scroll down here, it says the index monitoring these tech giants has surged following NVIDIA's impressive quarterly earnings, further fueling excitement surrounding artificial intelligence. NVIDIA's market capitalization has grown by about $470 billion since it released its results last week. $470 billion. $470 billion. The market cap has risen since it announced earnings last week. What? That is just crazy. If you're not on this train, I suggest you get on it. And the way to get on this is start averaging in. Set up automatic deductions from your bank account to buy this stock and start averaging in, catching these dips, because it does have a wild ride, and we'll look at it in Robinhood in a minute, and buy into those incremental dips because it's going to lower your overall average cost and just make your profits even bigger. All right. This is a stock that I'm also invested in. So I'm buying in on the dips, and I'm also set up with this stock where a portion of funds actually come out my account every week to buy some NVIDIA. You'd be a fool if you're not in this, man. This is, This is the AI gold rush. How long it's going to last, we don't know. But right now, these guys are crushing it. All right. If we go ahead and we scroll down here, there's something else I wanted to show you guys. It says here, furthermore, a Wall Street guru recently hailed NVIDIA as the standout leader among the Magnificent Seven, dubbing it the Magnificent One due to its market dominance and growth prospects. All right. So these guys are just absolutely smashing it. Whatever the CEO is doing, whatever they're designing over there, it's working like crazy. When they announced earnings, they also came out with the fact that most of their top clients for the new chips that they came out with were like all the big dogs, Microsoft, Google, those Amazon, those massive companies. And there's another article I wanted to show you guys here, and it says NVIDIA stock soars, announces stock split, which we already know they were going to do that. But I want to show you something in this article. All right. So it says here, NVIDIA stock trades at $1,113.80, up 5%. It's way above this now. All right. NVIDIA forecasts Q2 revenue of $28 billion. NVIDIA announces 10-for-1 stock split. All right. So they're expecting Q2 $28 billion. Just crazy. But look at this. This is what I want to show you guys. Let's go ahead and scroll down here to this section. All right, so it says here the company has forecast Q2 revenue of $28 billion plus or minus 2%, which is above the average estimate. This suggests a rising demand for NVIDIA's chips. The chip maker's fiscal first quarter results were driven by record data revenue due to demand for generative artificial intelligence. All right, so this new chip that they came out with, it is just flying off the shelves. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys in this article was right here. All right, so it says NVIDIA announces a 10-for-1 stock split, which significantly changes the stock price. This move aims to make stock ownership more accessible to employees and investors. The company has raised its quarterly dividend by 150%. After the stock split, the dividend will be 1 cent per share. Look at that. You're paying 1 cent per share, which is not a lot. All right. But then you look at the growth of the underlying asset, and that's where the money is. So if you want to keep the stock and get some residual income, great for you. You're going to get 1 cent per share. All right, for now. But the underlying asset price is going to move like crazy. So pay attention to this little section here. It says the company's 69% margin on the basis of earnings before interest and taxes has been highlighted as nothing short of extraordinary. Even if NVIDIA's margins do come down, levels anywhere above 60% would still be unique given the scale of NVIDIA's business. A 69% margin. What? That is massive, 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 massive. If you are not in on this NVIDIA wave right now, you're missing out. You're missing out. So let's go ahead and hop into Robinhood and just take a look at what it's been doing. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and hop into TradingView and look at some key levels, key psychological levels as well. All right. And then I'll show you guys an option that I had put on my watch list just yesterday. And I'll show you where it's at as of today, which is Thursday before the market is open. All right. So as you guys can see, we have NVIDIA pulled up here in Robinhood. And we do have it on the weekly chart. And you can see how it started here, 953, boom, boom, boom. Earnings comes out, hits the 1,000 mark. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Goes up to here to 1053. I told you guys about that level, right? So smashed above 1050, right? That's the level that I pointed out to you guys. Smashed above 1050, came back down. Boom, 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 boom. Goes up, right? Here we go, 1065. And just keeps going. May 27th, $1,103. All right, look where we are now. 138. So 1,138. And then at its peak, it was 1,165. This stock is just making some crazy, crazy, crazy moves. All right. So now let's go ahead and hop into trading view. And I'm going to show you some key psychological levels. So here we have NVIDIA pulled up on the daily chart here. All right. Now these plays would obviously work if you're doing a swing. Swings are going to be a little bit more expensive because the further out you go in terms of the date, the more expensive it's going to be. Will it be worth it? From what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure it will be. All right. So I spoke to you guys initially. It was around this level, right? Before earnings. Smashed out of earnings, came up to here, right? Which is the 1,000 level. Smashed through that, right? So we got above the 1,050, which I pointed out. And as you see, these green circles here, buying pressure. Boom. Breaks above that, right? And this is where we're at now, somewhere around like 1,144, but it was at 1,165. You see this right here? This $1,200 number? This is the key level. But look how massive, just look how massive this buying pressure circle is. Huge. That's the next mark, guys. It's going to 1,200. And if it goes to 1,200, it might go through, break. It might retest, come back down. And if it breaks above the 1,200, then we're going for the 1,300, which is this next level, right? Now, why do I have these levels marked out? 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. They're key psychological levels, meaning that whenever retail investors see a rounded number like this, like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, they start to buying with the hopes of getting into this area. And these calls typically usually have a lot of volume. And I showed you guys how to look at volume. If you didn't watch that video, you could go back and watch it, but it will also be on the card towards the end of this video. So it'll be in the top right. The thumbnail pretty much says how to print with options on Robinhood. All right, so you could go ahead and watch that. But the volume with this is going to be crazy. All right. Now, this actual 1,300 mark here was the option that I flagged yesterday. So meaning I put it on watch. And when I put it on watch, it was around $29. I'm going to show you guys in a minute what's next for this level. All right. Where it's currently at right now. I'll show you that in a minute. So the next level I have is 1,400. And this level is also key. And the reason it is key, way before NVIDIA announced earnings, UBS had an analysis of this price level saying, hey, you know what? We have got, as analysts, we've got NVIDIA going to 1,400 very soon. So this is the next psychological level. All right. Like I said, when I looked at the $1,300 call, that strike was around like $29 yesterday. All right, so we're going to take a look at this one. This one now is also a next psychological level that you could play. But like I said, you could play it for this week. The call that I looked at was for this week, meaning it would expire on Friday, which is tomorrow. And it was $29 to purchase that call, the 1,300 strike. Now, you could obviously do that and get some gains. But if you were to buy this same strike, but let's say 2-3 weeks from now, yes, it's going to be more expensive. You would definitely make a lot more money. All right. You could also do the same with a 1,400 strike. So let's go ahead and take a look at the option right now inside of Robinhood. All right. So as you guys can see, we do have the calls pulled up here for NVIDIA inside Robinhood. Right now, the share price is around here, which is 144.75. So this would be an in the money call. This call, for example, here, so if you were to buy the strike of 1,145, this is $20.20, which is going to work out to about $2,000 if you decided to buy this call. So this is going to be very expensive. The 1,150 call, right now it's 1,800. So let's go ahead and scroll up and take a look at the option, the 1,300 strike that I put on my watch list yesterday, just to show you guys exactly what's going on. There we go. This is the 1,300 strike, and I showed you guys how to do this inside of my video that says how to buy options on Robinhood for beginners. All right, the thumbnail says how to print with options. So if you see the check mark here, you know that I actually have this option on watch, right? But look at the price now. It's 66. It's $66 now. It was $29 when I started watching it. It is 66. It has more than doubled. All right. So if you had bought 10 of those calls at $2.90 or say $30, right? If you had bought 10 of those calls and put up 300, your 300 would have more than doubled by now. All right. Now let's go to the next psychological level, which I told you guys would be the 1,400 mark. And UBS, analyst from UBS also has that flagged. Let's click on this and take a look at the volume. All right. So we scroll up here. The volume on this is 7,000, 7,938. The open interest is 1,500. All right. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to go ahead and click that so we could close it. So let's look at another level. Let's look at the 1,380 level. All right. Notice something here. The volume on this is only 1,900 and the open interest is 248. Why? It's not like a big magical, yes, it's a rounded number. It's 1,380, but it's not a big psychological barrier like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. So even though the other call theoretically should have less volume because it's further down, it's further away from the strike, because it's at that big psychological barrier, right? It has way more volume in it. Look, the volume is 7,938. All right. So whenever you look at stocks like this, guys, always pay attention to the psychological strikes. All right. The strikes that you feel based on what I just showed you would have some type of psychological significance, and obviously check the volume for confirmation. All right. So that's pretty much where we're at in terms of NVIDIA right now. The stock is going crazy. The options are going crazy. You know, obviously this 1,400 option expires this week. You know, if you were to go out to, let's say we go out to June 14th, so we go from 2 weeks. That's saying $1,400 strike is probably going to be a lot more. All right. But the volume is less. But I would still get it. You know why? Because I use the one that expires this week to establish that this is a key level. This $1,400 strike is a key level. So I would still buy into this one. All right. Now, obviously, it's a lot more expensive. This one is $565. So you'd be putting up $500 to get this option. All right. But you see how the stock is going. You see what NVIDIA is doing. Look at it over max time. Look at the percentage. Just look at that. What is that? 146,397% over max time. Just look at this. This is the definition of what you call liftoff. NVIDIA to the moon and beyond. Whatever other planet is beyond the moon, it's going there. This thing is crazy. And there's a lot of money to be made averaging in plain options like I just showed you guys. All right. But that's it for the video today, guys. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like this video, share it with a family member or friend, and towards the end of the video, you'll see 4 cards pop up with some of my most popular videos. One shows you how to get to your first 100K investing for the long term. The second video is how to trade options on Robinhood for beginners, and I drop some real nice gems in that video. Even for people who are not necessarily beginners, you might learn something by watching that video. So go ahead and check those out. Thanks again for watching the video. I do appreciate it. Y'all stay safe, make some money today in the market, and have a blessed day. Peace.